What's up? This is Ryan with One Board Family, and today I'm reviewing the game Seaside from Randolph Games and Hachette Games. Special thank you to Hachette Games for providing this copy of the game for review on our channel. Now picture this, you're sitting by the ocean, enjoying the sound of the waves, enjoying the sand. You're enjoying the sand, not me, because I really don't get down with sand. Enjoying the sun and the breeze in your hair, and you want to play a game. You're probably not going to reach for a card game because the wind is going to blow all your cards everywhere. We've made that mistake as a family. But Seaside is a game that you will reach for. This game is built for portability, for travel, and for playing by the ocean. These chunky little wooden discs are heavy enough where they're not going to be blown around, and they're UV protected because the designer from the inset wanted this to be something that families could play by the beach. So let's talk about how this game plays and who it's for. This game is built for 1 to 5 players, and on a player's turn, you're going to simply reach inside this fabric bag, which is made for travel, and pull out a single token. Now, this token is double-sided, containing 2 different illustrations, and based on the illustration, it's got a color associated to it. If it's a blue colored token, you're going to simply, if you choose that side, you're going to put that token into the center of the table, which represents the ocean that is between every one of the players. Now, all the players at the table have access to these ocean tiles, so by placing it in the center, you're either fueling somebody's collection eventually, or maybe you'll be the one who collects some of those things from the ocean on a future turn. Now, the white side of the token is going to trigger a special ability or a special action based on the illustration. And so you determine which side you want to play. But remember that the blue side, by placing a token into the ocean, you're going to actually get another pull. So I might take this crab token and put it into the center of the table into the ocean. I'm now going to get another pull on my turn, allowing me to have another choice between a blue tile or a white tile. Now that you know what you do on your active turn, let's talk about some of the actions that are associated with the different tokens. The isopod, the shell, and the crab are all tokens that are thrown directly into the sea in the center of the table, where all players have access to them. Now remember, if you play any of these 3 tokens, you actually get to take another turn reaching into the bag and taking out a new token. Now if you choose to take the sandpiper token, you're going to take all of the isopods in the center of the table at the time of taking that token. The sandpiper eats all of these isopods and is a big happy bird. Now, if you choose a beach token, you're going to take 1 shell from the sea for every beach token that you've got in your supply. If this is your second beach token that you've collected, you're going to get to take 2 seashells as long as they are in the center of the table in the sea. Now, the wave token is a little more of a long-term strategy. At the end of the game, the player with the most wave tokens will gather everything in the sea, and that will go into their collection. When you take a wave token on your turn, you're actually going to flip over a beach token and apply the effect on the other side. Now you can look at the different beach tokens that you've got in your supply to determine which one you're going to flip over. But if you have any beach tokens, you must flip one over. Crabs love hiding under rocks. When you collect your first rock, it has no immediate effect. But with your second rock, it creates a crab habitat. All the crabs in the center of the table will crawl up under those rocks, and you actually get to steal 1 crab from another player at the table to put into your scoring pile. Play continues around the table until the last token is taken and there are no more tokens in the bag. The game comes to a close and everybody evaluates who has the most waves at the table. Whoever has the most wave tokens will collect all of the items that are still left in the sea at that point in time, and if there's a tie, they split them evenly. Once all of that is done, you're going to take all of your tokens and you're going to pile them up into stacks and measure to see whose stack is the tallest, who has collected the most valuable things on the seashore. I've got to say, I really like Seaside. We have played this game a lot since we originally received it at Origins. This game is very easy to teach and very easy to comprehend, partially because the rules are really well laid out. I love the way that they did a double-sided sheet for the rules. Everything is illustrated very nicely and actually has a little information about the designer and why the game is built the way that it is. I really enjoyed the ease of play of Seaside, and while it's a very casual game, it's because of its portability, it's a game that I'm going to play a lot with the family. Honestly, games like these, while they don't have a big box or a big shelf presence, Seaside is that game that I'll easily throw into a bag or take on vacation because of its portability, because its ease of play, because basically anytime you have a table that just has a little bit of space, you have access to play Seaside. While I love how easy the game is to teach, how portable it is, just the sheer quality of each of the tokens in the game, I think one of the things that is lacking is honestly some more of these player aids. Because I teach games pretty often to new players, really you only have access to 2 player aids. And so you've got this one cardboard one right here, and then you've got one that is in the rule book that you could easily just fold the rule book and make it a second player aid. When you're playing with 5 players, which we find ourselves playing Seaside a lot with, what we end up doing is passing around these player aids, and people are kind of stuck staring at the player aid trying to figure out what something means or what strategy they might want to adopt as they take a new token. This isn't an issue for players who know the game or have played the game quite a bit. For myself, I don't even need the player aids, I just hand them to other people. But I think when you play a game with 5 players, or if you're teaching new gamers or new people how to play often, it would have really benefited from having a couple more of these cards, or even some smaller cards. I love all of the illustrations and all of the examples provided for in here, but I think that those player aids, just a couple of them, could have gone a long way, especially since this game plays up to 5 players. Seaside is a game that really impressed me. It is a simple game that relies on pressing your luck. I don't know how many times I pulled isopod, and I keep filling the center of the table with these isopods just to hope that I would pull a sandpiper on my next turn. And sometimes it happens. Sometimes you pull that sandpiper and now you've adopted this giant pile of insects, and you've really increased your lead in the game. But then there's sometimes when you don't pull that sandpiper, and now you've seeded the center of the table for everyone else, which feels terrible, but that's the risk that you take when you go that route. I love the decisions that you have to make in Seaside, and in some of our closest games, it's just been one token that has been the difference between first and third place. We've had a couple ties here and there, but Seaside is a game that if you like a little bit of pressure luck, if you like a really well-built game for up to 5 players that has nice components, if you're planning to travel with this game, Seaside is one that I would absolutely recommend. Seaside is such a fun experience, and one that keeps getting asked for when we go to game night. We have a weekly game night at a local barcade, and we've been asked a couple times to bring this back to the table because it's been so enjoyable. So that is my review for Seaside. We really dig this game, and if you're thinking about going on vacation, or if you have some family travel in your future, Seaside is one that you might want to consider throwing into a bag. You can find Seaside at Barnes & Noble stores nationwide, or you can follow the links down below to purchase your own copy of Seaside. Thank you so much to Hachette Games for providing this copy of Seaside, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.